Let's go.
I'll tell you about this stuff as well. Me and
Yo.
Yeah, you're good. Oh, why can't I hear that? Okay, that's better.
Yo.
Xander and I have had this idea when we get like people on, for example, Bali Passport in the future potentially, that we go out for a day with said person and they kind of dress us the way that they dress, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Are you funding this?
Yeah, we'll fund it. It'll probably be from Vinny's. Hold your mic up a bit. Good boy.
Thank you.
Would you guys take if you were to take Xander and I to Vinny's to sort of give us a bit of DHM attire?
Well, I think there's the
You'd
rule
be
that-
shirtless, sorry.
Yeah, you would. You'll probably just get DHM tattoos on you.
DHM
Considering that is
tattoos?
the ultimate stamp of a DHM member.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. The outfits was it a white tank? Was that what you were running at
White
SVG?
tank, the boat, the sailor's hat.
Yeah,
and
it was
the
Danish
crow
House
tape.
Marines were was our name of the latest SPG.
Dude, you looked like such fuckboys when you were doing it. It was unreal. It was actually unreal.
To be fair, if DHM were dressing you, I think all of our merch to date has just been a Kmart t-shirt with Texter on it.
I think it was
So
that.
we would just go straight to Kmart if
Yeah.
that was the case.
Well, we should do it. Maybe when you guys come back on when Xander's back, we can sort something out.
What else? You'd be some sexy hat as well.
Yeah.
Some sort of costume. You'd be dressed up. I do think it needs to be. I think that's the next way we go. We're gonna get the rig out.
Yeah.
I don't know if people want to see my melted ice cream of a rig, live on the internet.
Yeah, but that's a Nordic body, mate. That's how it works. if you're
Marines, mate.
Yeah. If anything, you would suit our vibe perfectly.
Yeah, awesome. I actually missed your guys' set at SVG.
Really?
Have I told you this?
Well, it was nothing
But
it
a
was-
masterclass.
Yeah, okay, that's one way of putting it. It was our worst set to date, but we still got the win.
Why was it your worst set to date?
It just I didn't get a plan, mate. We didn't prepare.
It was the best intro to date, but it was almost like we peaked too early.
How did that unfold? I literally saw nothing.
So the intro, we invited the talented that just got mentioned, the Bali Passport boys, to come on stage and perform Thunderstruck,
Yeah.
the AC/DC song, and it entailed me singing, which I thought I'd be able to learn the words with 20 minutes before. I was so wrong.
So you didn't even look at this before you left.
So I think the preparation was you making a sort of a song,
The introduction.
and
yeah.
you sent it to Dave and Kai maybe I think a day before.
Yeah, it was very late. Yeah.
A day before, and then it was me coming over the top and singing it. And
Dave and Kai the track that we created for them didn't have the guitar solo part of AC/DC.
Yeah.
And it was Dave pretending to play the guitar with Kai behind him playing blind.
Yeah.
it actually, for their sake, they were fucking so good.
It was it looked awesome.
Jacob's got a video on his camcorder. So funny. I come in so early with the thunder, and I eventually I'm like, thunder, thunder, and then I think about like 8 things in, I go, duh, duh, duh.
Is that just because you forgot the words?
No, because I just went in so early, and then it comes in, and I am looking at the phone. You see the video, I'm like, it was cold in the middle, and I was yelling it, and it was so. Except, who cares, mate? We're 109.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
What's the 100
the times we've won?
Is this against Norwegian House Mafia?
It's anything, mate. We
Yeah.
don't
Do
lose.
you want to explain your arch nemesis to?
NHM, the cats, the cowards, the dickheads.
So this started on your 20th birthday?
Actually, let's give some context to this whole thing. I wasn't expecting to just go off the rip, but let's do it. Explain DHM and explain the inception and.
I don't even know where it started. It's Anyway, one party.
It started. It was your birthday, and I think it was like 2018 or 2019. So it was when we were still really young.
Yeah.
And then I think it was you, Finn, and I that had DJ'd maybe once before, and we thought we would rip off our good friends, not rip off, of course, holding any legal cases that might come our way, but take inspiration from our good friends, the Swedish House Mafia, who have had some worldwide fame. and create the Danish House Mafia. But as soon as that we started posting on the event page about this new group, the Norwegian House Mafia was rapidly formed.
Right.
And the rivalry was born.
Norwegian House Mafia made up of Tully, Wilson,
It was Tully,
and Jared.
Wilson and Jared, but
Yeah.
Jared slowly pulled out due
Yeah.
to his coward behaviour.
We just got sick of losing.
Yeah.
exactly
Losing 100 times must be pretty hard.
Yeah. So do you guys play? So you both played at this party, and that was kind of.
And Finn, you're missing
And
our
Finn.
ginger friend Finn. Shout out to you, Finn.
Will he be listening?
I think
I think he'll be listening. Let's hope
It is the DHM pod
I,
after
think
all.
I think
like
he'll
you'd
get.
hope
I
the
think he'll
third
get around
member.
it.
it is.
But yeah, so it's us three, and yeah, I guess it's just funny. It's just so funny. It's just I think completely taking the piss, and I do get worried sometimes.
Hold this
it's
up a
funny
bit.
if people do think it's very serious, which I
know,
guess is
it's-
something where if that would be sort of, I guess, good in itself to see if people are taking it serious and feel that we're fully invested in this.
I don't think opening with Thunderstruck with you singing it over the top can be taken.
In white tank top.
Yeah.
Oh, what's this?
Oh shit!
Mystery number? Who do you think this is?
I don't know.
Let's have
Should
a
take
look.
it though.
Hello, Ryan speaking.
Hello.
Hello, Ryan speaking.
Hello? G'day?
Oh, who's this? Hello, who is this?
Is this the Pub Roaches podcast?
No, I think this is the Barflies podcast, mate. Sorry, you must have the wrong number. Pub Roaches, great
The
podcast
what
though.
podcast?
The Barflies, a small podcast. I don't know if you know them. A little bit smaller than the Pub Roaches.
The Fly Bars? What was it?
Yeah, don't worry about it, mate. How can we help you anyway?
What kind of a stupid name is that?
Oh, anyway.
I thought this was the Pub Roaches, mate. What's going on?
Oh, yes, sorry, mate. We'd love to help. But
Who's
you're
calling?
it's mystery number. I don't know who this is.
Wait, sorry, is that Ryan McLean?
Yeah, it is. Why is it? Who is this?
Ryan McLean of the Danish House Mafia.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Oh, we're here. We're actually here with Ed as well.
It's an absolute pleasure. It's an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, we're here with Ed as well. Do you remember his singing? We were just talking about his singing at SBG.
Diekman, Danish House Mafia.
In the flesh.
Oh, mate, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for the call.
Mate, all the best. It's been an absolute pleasure. And fuck Norway.
All right, thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate.
That tends to happen quite often. You know, we get
Far
random
out.
Is that
fans
something
calling.
that's happened to you guys a
That-
fair bit?
Yeah,
Honestly,
it's-
all the time.
Yeah, fandom. It's.
Is that like a fan? Was that a fan caller?
I suppose it must have been.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Stalker. It's
Yeah.
not really. But what's the pub roaches?
So for the
Big podcast.
yeah, we'll get into that. For the people who had no idea what was going on, then we just received a fan caller, or not me. How dare I? Ryan's just received a fan call for the Pub Roaches podcast.
No, I think it was a fan call of Danish House Mafia.
Oh, okay. My apologies.
Yeah.
And he just recognised your voice.
I suppose so. Yeah.
Get your fingers in a few pies, mate.
Well, yeah. Danish House Mafia. We do get a lot of.
It is. It's a lot more female
Stalkers.
audience.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
fair enough.
They love me and Ryan for our, and Finn, sorry, for our physique,
Yep.
our stylish looks, our winking ability.
Yeah.
A Nordic ice cream.
Exactly. I don't know. It's just, it's something the boys over in Norway just they don't understand.
Yeah, that's fair. Do you know what is funny though? That Wilson and Tully are on the Norwegian team, and it is just so fun to not like Wilson and Tully, which just makes it so easy to get on board with DHM.
Wilson. He's a weasel.
Shout out to them. Let's
Yeah,
do an
legends.
intro and then we'll circle back to this conversation.
Okay.
What's up, nerds? Welcome back to episode 87 of the Barflies. Here we are, 13 away from a full century of episodes. I'm here with my good friends Kody Bryan and Teddy Diekman.
And mate, how did that feel? Introduce Ryan McLean, ladies and gentlemen. How did that feel? Introducing us off the rip.
That felt incredible.
Yeah, it does feel good, right?
I feel there was a lot of power in those words.
Yeah.
What's up, nerds?
Yeah,
Three
yeah.
words. Who knew?
Look, I don't know. I just said that on like episode 2 and I just kind of stuck with it, I think. But yeah, mate, it's got a good run. Also, shout out to the other half of the Barflies podcast. Sorry, the Pub Roaches podcast, excuse me. Jared Travers. Didn't get a feature. The Pub Roachesette was highly anticipated for a long time, but it's kind of come to fruition in a DHM episode.
Yeah. Well, there's. I'm surprised that. I mean, the Pub Roaches. I suppose we have our own weekly podcast, so we.
Where do you guys post your podcast? I actually haven't seen too much of it.
It's on. It's on.
It's live streamed on Twitch.
Yeah, it's live streamed on Twitch and Google Drive, so people have to go download the episode.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Cool. Let's get into it today. Joined, as Ryan so eloquently introduced, Teddy Deeks and Ryan McLean, two or 1/4 of the Flora Street house at some stage.
Yep.
Ryan previously and now
a new quarter.
New quarter. Teddy Deeks. How have you found the move back over to the Inner West, Ted? Because you were, I thought, or not back, your first time over here.
This is my first
Technically,
time.
you missing the beach, mate? You missing the beach?
I think when it comes to summer, I will miss it a lot. But it's been very convenient. I work. Do you know what South Everley is?
I know where South Everley is, mate.
Exactly. Do you know what that is?
I actually don't know. Where is South?
Do you know what the Combank buildings? The Combank.
The giant one.
The giant ones. They've got those Redfern.
Yeah,
So basically,
it's
I
there.
work in that precinct. There.
Fuck, that is so close.
So it is about a 10-minute walk, which I didn't realise till about 2 months of living here. So I used to get the train. It was shit. Didn't like it. Not for me. Public transport, it's not my thing.
Where did you get? Was this when you were living on the beaches? You were getting the train?
No, here. I was only one stop away
Oh, sure.
when I realised this, but it's just been...
Door to door, it would take you the same amount of time. Surely.
It's quicker. It's quicker to walk.
Yeah.
So, it's been, I guess, the awesome thing about living out this way. And then, obviously, all you guys, there's all the, I guess, boys out here. Because I guess growing up, I was in Curl.
Yeah, you were on the infamous. What was your street called?
Sturgis Avenue, mate.
Sturgis Ave.
The clan, shout out, Tully, Isaac, Nathan.
And Angus.
And Angus. Forgot about him, he's in Europe. But, he's actually, he's left Sturgis Avenue now.
Yeah,
their family has unfortunately packed up ship and I don't know where they've moved. Colorado.
Is Angus in Colorado now as well?
I don't know.
He might. Probably. Did they move while he's in Europe? Maybe.
Yeah, I think it was like 2 days later.
When did he go? When did he go to Europe?
The 9th.
So he's been over.
Mate, you got dates down.
Wait, the 9th of July.
Yeah, 9th of July.
How long is he
been
there
there.
for?
He's doing like 4 or 5 months.
Doesn't have a
He's
ticket.
not gonna be
He's doing
back.
5 months.
He's, I think, planning to be back in November.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Which is, he's been, like, I lived with him last year, so he was working, so he was doing full-time uni, full-time work, and was just grinding, so he could do, basically, 5 months away.
Nice. Yeah.
So he's meeting up, he's meeting up with D'Lo,
Kane,
EJ, and Dom now.
Yep.
Doing the next 5 weeks with them.
Yep.
Then I have no idea what he's doing.
Yeah. I was talking to Kane yesterday as we were sort of walking down to. I saw off the boys yesterday. My roommates have gone to Europe. Didn't get a Kane and EJ pod out before we went.
Went on FaceTime.
What's that?
Get him on FaceTime.
Yeah, call him in, mate. You won't be able to hear a word EJ's saying over FaceTime. You can barely hear him in the paint. So.
Like on a 4 a.m. Gacked episode.
We must be so weird because now you have literally 0 people here.
Dude, yesterday after they went to the airport, I came back and I was like, oh,
What do I do?
yeah. And almost like knowing that they're coming home later, even though I'm still home alone during the day, knowing that they're coming home later, I just have a different, it's just a different feeling. It's really odd.
Yeah, because you could just sit here and not a single person's going to walk
Yeah.
through the front door.
Yeah, exactly. Totally. And I don't like it. I don't like it.
I hate that.
Even like me and Kane are kind of like we're room boys. You know, we hang out in our rooms.
I am the complete opposite.
Yeah.
I think I would go crazy if I didn't have anyone to talk around. I reckon I sleep in my room, and now I guess if I'm working from home, I'm working there.
Yeah.
But I've always been park up on the couch, and whoever's home, you're gonna know I'm here.
Yeah.
Get the fuck downstairs.
Yeah.
Can we swear on here?
Well,
Yeah. Yeah, you can swear on him, mate.
You beauty.
you'd be worried about being by yourself Kody though with all the ghost stories.
Yeah, well, that was what I was going to... That's what I was... Dude, you say it as a joke. It is kind of wigging me out.
No.
It is kind of wigging me out. So, I don't know if Dude, I can never remember what I've told on here or not before. Tully, another quarter of the Flora Street house. I think everyone in Flora Street's been on the pod now, except Jared.
Yeah, except...
Because Jacob even came on.
True.
So, Jared's the only other quarter that hasn't been on, and he's probably the most mentioned out of everyone. But
I think you spoke about the ghost story with the episode with Blav.
yes, okay. So if you haven't listened to that, jump back to that. Tully told us one of the more legitimate ghost stories. I don't know if I've mentioned this to you. I think I've told Ed, but the boys from my work who live in an old hotel on King Street, they have had plenty of ghost stories over the years from
Union
like
Hotel.
Union Hotel.
They live in the Union Hotel.
The Onion. They live upstairs of the Onion.
Yeah, so it's a 10. It used to be. So you know how the pubs in Newtown are old hotels?
Yeah.
So upstairs is a like 10-bedroom house, essentially.
What?
Yeah.
Random.
Yeah,
You been up there?
I haven't been up there. I'd love to go up there at some stage.
In one of the first weeks that we were living at Flora, I was wearing a pair of slides, and I think it was Mitro, legend, shout out, but he picked up my slide off my foot and then threw it at someone, but did such a bad throw that it actually flew up into the hotel section of the Union.
What, from Flora Street?
No, from is it Union Street, that one that
Yeah.
runs
Oh,
straight
like
down?
this actually happened.
Yeah.
So you're not dribbling it. This is
No, this is dead set, yeah. And so then he had to go into the pub and make his way upstairs, and he came down and he was like, "Fuck, it's huge,
Yeah.
it's massive up
Oh,
there."
wow. So Mitro's been up there and I
He's
haven't
been
even
up
been
there.
up there.
He got onto the roof, retrieved
Wow.
retrieved a slide, and then came back down.
I'm going to ask my bosses about that tomorrow. Let's find
I'm
out.
sure they would remember.
Do you know
Yeah.
the guys that live up there?
Yeah, they're my bosses. Like the union's run by 3 brothers.
How have you never been up there?
I don't know.
Just ask if you can go up there.
I'm sure they'd let me. It's just not something that you are. Like, I don't know.
Probably.
Surely you're not. Are you
Ghosts.
curious at all?
Yeah, I'm super curious.
But there's probably other ghosts up there. They don't want to let them out.
Yeah, well, anyway, over the years,
No.
the boys have had like since because they've grown up there, right? They've been there their whole lives. They're in their late 20s now, and even like they've had friends come over for sleepovers and stuff, and the friends have had ghost experiences. But the thing that scared me the most when Tully told me his story is the most prominent ghost story from the Union exactly matches Tully's recount.
Right.
And Tully didn't know this when he was telling me the story. I'd be the only other one to make that connection. So that's why it wigged me out so much, because I was like, wow, that's a building 100 meters up the road.
Can you run through their ghost story? How did it happen?
Sam, he's one of the boys. He's the middle brother. He had a ghost story from when he was 14. And he basically,
Wow,
I don't know
cool.
what happened. So, yeah, 15 years ago, I was saying. He walked out into the corridor. It must have been at night. I don't know if he was going to the bathroom or whatever. And he basically he recounts it as like feeling like a presence in front of him and seeing like a bit of like a dark shadow. And the shadow sort of like rushed towards him and went through him. And he said he just went ice cold and all his hair stood on end. And
That is exact same as Tully's story.
Right.
Literally identical.
My point.
terrifying.
So when Tully told me his, I was like, no fucking way. Like, I've heard the exact same story from someone else only 100 meters up from your house, which gives more legitimacy to Tully's story, in my opinion.
Yeah. So when we were moving in there, so it got renovated and renovations finished in July or August of the year that we moved in. We moved in on Christmas Eve, so months after the
Oh, well, that's kind of the same as us, yeah.
And we...
What year? 17?
20,
18?
No, 2020.
Oh, true. Yeah, true.
Oh, sorry,
You haven't-
2019.
2019, okay.
And before, when we were looking at the ad on realestate.com, they had all, you know how they have, like, sometimes they have the photos of the new place and then they leave, for whatever reason, the photos of the old place.
Yeah.
It looked like where someone had died. And
Really?
so we were joking when we were looking at it, like, I bet there's ghosts. And then when we spoke to a real estate agent and they're like, yeah, the renovation's finished 4 months ago, but we haven't received a single bid on it yet. No one's applied for this
Have
property.
you done any research into what was there before?
No, it was just a
You should just look up
house.
31 Flora Street. Maybe
31
I should
Flora
now,
Street
actually.
ghost stories, but so then even then we were like, oh, I bet it's got a ghost, and then it was within 2 weeks that there was the ghost story.
Well, Tully said it was like day 3 or something.
Okay, yeah, day 3, yeah.
So,
What was the general like consensus from? Sorry, before you go on here, what was the general consensus? Did you have like a house meeting the next day to be like?
What did happen? I can't remember honestly.
Yeah, you
but
were sound asleep upstairs up in the fucking
Yeah.
with the high rollers, mate.
Yeah.
By the sounds of it.
So they came down the next day, had major goosebumps. It was terrifying.
Yeah.
But
Did he wake you all up all that night?
no, just Jared. And then the two of them sat in the living room for a couple of hours. I think they might have even fallen asleep with the lights on in the living room.
Yeah.
But that might be wrong.
Was
Don't
Amelia
quote me
home?
on that. I don't think so.
I doubt it. Yeah.
No, she was still in Newcastle at that stage. Yeah.
Well, I think he's capping.
Do you want to, what's your thesis? then?
My take on this
prognosis?
is, all right, Tully, what really happened was, we live, the doors aren't always locked. People can get around the side. It's easy. What I personally think that happened was, Tully, he said he heard someone shaking stuff in the drawers. I honestly think a more realistic option is someone had come through the back door, broken in, and was searching through all the drawers and stuff, maybe for car keys, who knows, just searching for stuff.
Forks, maybe.
Exactly, they're
Cutlery.
valuable.
Yeah.
But then,
Expensive.
so then here's Tully come out the hallway.
Yeah.
And then the guy, obviously, then I reckon, walks into the hallway. Put it in context, it's a very long hallway. It's like,
Yeah.
I'd say from about where Tully's room was to there, it'd be like, what is it? Like
So are you talking to the back door or to the kitchen?
from the kitchen to Tully's door, it would have been
It's like 10 minutes.
10 meters.
10 meters or so. So what I think happened was Tully was there, and then there was a guy, someone had broken into the house to steal some shit, and then flashed a light down at Tully, and Tully went into shock and just froze up, and the guy just legged out the back door.
But you don't think Tully would have heard footsteps or like clattering?
He
on the
was
way
in
out?
shock.
Yeah.
I think that is a more realistic option to what happened.
You just don't want to believe the ghost, mate.
Yeah.
No, it's just I don't think the ghost story is realistic.
What do you think?
You said they live above the union. Who says there wasn't the same thing that happened to them? I think that is a way more realistic thing to happen.
The fork burger. Maybe there's a fork epidemic of
Yeah.
people
the
taking
Erskineville
cutlery.
Knife
But it's
Guy.
just two cases.
the knife guy.
Could be the knife guy.
Yeah. What is the knife guy thing?
I don't actually know.
I thought that
never
was
known.
from you. I thought that initiated from Flora Street.
So,
No, I don't know. I thought
to
it was
my
Kane,
understanding, I
honestly.
think Jared was sitting at home by himself one night.
Oh no, the prank. You're not talking about the prank, are you?
Yes.
Yeah, that was us. But I
Yes.
thought the Erskineville Knife Guy was a thing that you guys had talked about in Flora Street that was already a thing.
No.
It was like a crazy guy from Erskineville. Anyway, yeah, I think we've just, the prank was we all banged on the door and Jared was home alone. And then EJ started screaming. And we didn't tell Jared until Mode the next day. We were going to Mode the following day. And Jared was like, we were like, oh, we'll wait till Jared says it at freeze in front of everyone.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Jared was like, guys, guess what happened to me last night? And he like told it how someone banged on the door, like some crazy person, and then ran
I
away.
would shit myself.
Yeah, that was looking back really mean. I wouldn't have done. I wouldn't do that again. If
Watch out, mate. You're here by yourself.
I know,
We're coming
don't
for you.
don't do that to me. I'll cry.
Maybe we encourage Jared to come in.
Break
Kane
through the
gave me a
window.
key to
Yeah.
the house.
Jared knows where the key is as well. I just told him
Really?
today. Yeah.
You know what, maybe we should put a speaker in the bathroom so when he comes down, it's just some creaky noise.
Scary music. Yeah.
Cody. I would hate that.
Yeah,
I
it'd
would
be
hate
fucking
that.
terrifying.
But I do get like a little bit scared when I when I'm coming down to go to the bathroom. I'm like, it's in the back of my mind for sure.
So blanket, like opinion. Do you believe in ghosts or not?
I don't not believe in them. But I've never had an experience myself to be like, I've seen one. Do you know what I mean?
I don't believe
Is that a
him
fair?
at all.
What about you?
I'm same as you. I'm more on the side of I don't believe in them, but it just doesn't make sense. But there's so many things that have happened which makes it, it could be.
A bit fishy.
Yeah.
I don't believe it at all. You see anyone on YouTube or anything that talks about ghosts, conspiracy stories, and they don't look sane. They look a bit, cracked.
Yeah.
You're not really going to trust them. If they were to give you talk on another topic, you'd be like, mate, no, mate.
Yeah.
No, mate.
Well, I honestly, I never put any thought into it until Tully brought this up. And then I was like, that's so weird. I've heard the exact same story before from someone else that you don't know. So now that's kind of made me be like, oh, well, there's definitely like, I feel like there's some, like these are two people that like, the way they're telling me, I'm like, I believe you. I don't not believe Tully. I believe
I don't believe him. I don't believe him.
The thing about Tully's story is when he's like, I woke up and I was full of adrenaline. Like I was full of adrenaline because I thought someone was in the house, which like...
Someone was in the house.
Yeah. Case
There was. Case closed. Someone was in the house.
Case closed.
You said it right there. Someone was in the house breaking in, stealing shit.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
went into shock. Someone was in the kitchen. He saw someone in the kitchen and he went into shock and went, then the guard legged it.
Yeah, fair enough. Have you missed Tully since he's been gone?
It's definitely been quieter.
You and Tully are a bit of like a fucking...
Yeah, we sort
Powerhouse
of,
when he's
we
home.
sort of, I guess, but as I said, I've grown up with him, so I guess both of us are very much loud.
Yeah.
We're loud and we love our Manly boys.
Yeah, you love the Manly boys.
So I think he's back Saturday
Yeah, I
or
think
Sunday.
You told me Saturday last
I think it's
week.
Saturday. So it'll be good to have him back,
Yeah.
especially right now. It's just me and Jacob,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
It's going to strictly become a super coach house and hold now more so.
No,
than now that
no,
Delo's
I don't think it'll be
there.
a super coach house. One of us are
It'll be-
eliminated this week.
Yeah, it was
Untapped.
me. Anyway.
Is Tully out? There was talks last week that Tully would be out.
Nah, he's one more
He's
week.
back in it.
I'm the only one that
Really?
got eliminated last week, so
I
it's
ha-
me.
I
Harry
hate to
Coates
say
and-
this in our super coach comp. If I don't win it, I hope Tully does. I hate to say that, but it would be.
Z's top, isn't he? He's holding down the fort at the top
Nah,
of the table. For
Tully
Taylor.
has been the bottom. He's been the shittest team, and all year, all I've heard about him is complain about this super coach thing.
Yeah.
So it would just make it so funny if he, just came and won it. Because one thing about him, he would never let it down.
That's why I don't want him to win.
But
I
that's
don't,
why it'd be so funny. His call and shit talk for the next year until we started this again would be.
It is
Super.
it is the ultimate bragging right there because
Totally.
the amount of even talking to you guys about how much screen time you spend
Yeah.
on Supercoach
Yeah.
day by day, let alone by the week,
yeah.
to actually win something, which is like you guys are essentially on a small scale managing your own football team.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like who is the best?
Yeah,
at
and
that,
it's also
which is
like who
the
knows the most about the sport. Like
Yeah.
it's all this it
It's
goes
like-
deep. It
it's
goes
a-
deep.
It's like the closest thing to when everyone jokes about if they were actually managing like Manchester United or something.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Literally. Xander's been what's the word, like conspiracizing?
I'm not
Help me out here. Is that the word? Conspiracizing?
Is it? I don't know. Is it conspiring? Is
Conspiring?
that
Yeah.
think
Xander's
that
been
sounds more accurate.
Xander's been conspiring that I'm like against him. And I don't want him to win.
the word? Is this
Supercoach.
like not by not trading with him or something?
Oh, just his general demeanor.
I actually deleted the app.
Yeah, it's
I've deleted the app. I only do it on the desktop. Or if someone has messaged me, I'm in serious trade talk with them, I'll download it. It got to the point where I reckon I knew our comps rosters better than the actual NRL.
yeah. Yeah.
And yeah,
Wilson is probably fucking getting agitated listening to this. The fact that we brought up Supercoach on the podcast, but it
Why
needed
would
to
he
come
go?
up. And because mate, every time we bring it up on a night out, he's like, not now, no Supercoach tonight, please.
well, Angus now will ask us if we do a plan to do, say, a night with just, say, a boys' night with
Yeah.
us as a group of us. He will ask, send a specific, is there any sport on?
Yeah,
And if we say yes, it says, will this be watched? And if we said yes, he's like, not coming.
that's so
Not
funny.
coming.
Well, that was like when we went to Nelson? Did we go to Nelson Bay?
Yes.
And you're like, Angus isn't going to want the footy on. I was
Oh,
like,
he
"Mate,
hated it.
I got a weekend off as if I'm not watching the footy.
It did turn into a bit of a sport weekend that weekend.
Yeah, it was. Speaking of sport, the Tillies, the Matildas.
Wow, Hayley Razzo, legend of the world.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
In Australia,
What a national
Is that the one
treasure.
that she scored 2 right now?
she got the Michael Dublé. Yeah, yeah.
Should
she
hate
got
it for
2.
mentioning this, but talking about goals, I think there should be a special lady called into the Matilda side. The lovely Kody McLean grabbed Hattrick on the weekend.
Birthday hat trick.
Birthday
Birthday
hat trick.
Hattrick. It was her birthday yesterday, so happy birthday. And
Birthday
basically,
party.
she's playing it right back. Her team is... they've been shit this year.
She's playing for the mighty MV as well, which I think is also
the
worth
Vale.
mentioning. The Vale.
The mighty Manly Vale.
Don't bail on Vale.
You know what they say, mate. No one comes to the fortress to win.
Exactly.
No one
That
goes
is-
to
that is-
David Thomas
No
to
one
win,
goes
mate.
there to win. Basically, she's hasn't scored, I reckon, in... don't quote me on this. I think it's been 2 years.
She said 2 years last night, yeah.
There you go. 2 years, can confirm it. And goes into last night. She's had a couple shocking games, to say the least,
When it rains, it
over the
pours.
last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And when it rains, it pours.
It's a callback,
Right
mate.
back. First goal. I'm going to credit myself. I was there with Isaac. I screamed, fucking let it rip! And off the thing, bang, straight over, top bin, goes in.
You said it was like 30 meters out.
It's 30
didn't you?
metres out.
Yeah.
I was sitting there.
Was
I'm
it top left or top
Cracked
right?
it.
You just
Oh.
blacked out, mate, at that point.
left? I was sitting there. Chair. I don't get that vocal at those games, but this I was up.
You were
I was
fired up. Well, it was birthday
Birthday
weekend.
energy,
Exactly.
yeah.
It was the festival. of
Does
Kody.
this compare to Peter Siddle's birthday hat trick, you reckon?
No, this is considering context of, let's say, Katie's goal drought. This is more monumental.
I think this is more monumental.
And she's playing right back. It'd be like Peter Siddle, he's a bowler.
Yeah.
Katie's the one who's meant to be stopping the goals,
Yeah.
not scoring them.
Yeah, she
So
just can't help herself.
It would be like if Smudge or someone got a birthday hat trick.
Oh, it was heroic.
Oh,
it
it's
was
so
heroic.
good. Shout out to her. How good scoring a goal? I'll circle back to that.
Well, speaking
Go on, mate,
speaking
just
of
do it.
blacking out and speaking of scoring goals,
Well, this is going to be my love this week, but I'll touch on it now. 2 in 2 weeks, lads, for Kody Bryan.
it's massive.
I hadn't
it
scored
rains,
in.
it pours.
I hadn't scored in 5 years in
I
open
don't
play.
get that if you play a striker.
Well, when I was playing for Harbord, I played right back for 4 years, and I don't know. I just didn't. And I always say, like, with soccer, I never like seem to find myself. It's not like I miss chances. I just don't find myself in like goal scoring situations. And funny, that day you came to watch, there was 2. I had 2 chances. One I hit straight at the keeper.
You did. You
And
did
one,
win, though.
the second one, I don't think the keeper saw it, mate. I'll say that much.
Like a charm, maybe.
Yeah.
Fuck, you're on something.
Yeah.
When's your next game?
Well, I might be.
Yeah, he's coming to play for us, dude.
Yeah. On
When?
On the
Next Saturday, not
yeah,
this
on the
Saturday.
12th, yeah.
You guys have all got to get down
When's
to
my
that.
call up coming?
You said after that game you'd get rings
so
run
I've been
around you.
talking so much smack about I want to join this team. I want to join. I want to play. Give me a go. My trial was we went away to Nelson Bay. I played Kody in soccer. We won 3-0. He couldn't get a hand on me. I was a goal scoring machine. So since then, I've always wanted to play. I used to play when I would have stopped when I was 14. And I think I regretted stopping. Something about I've only ever played like basketball since then, and since finishing school, I guess it's all comps on a weeknight. So there's no
Well, we've been saying come to a training, mate. Get down to training.
Straight stuff.
Yeah, show us what you got, mate.
I do want to-
Ryan's got a resume. You know, yours is blank, mate. We need to see
But
something.
then, long story short, I went to watch their game, and I was. What you was Div 5 you playing?
Yeah, Div 5.
I was thinking this is gonna be a cakewalk. Like this, no one's gonna be that good. It's gonna be you're gonna be playing against chumps.
Yeah.
And God, I was wrong.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
How do you think you would fare in a game?
Oh, I think I'd score at least 2 goals. Every game. I think one off the head,
Yeah.
and then maybe a bicycle kick.
Yeah, I reckon.
Maybe.
But that's just irrational confidence, I think.
Maybe
But
a scissor kick.
I was impressed. I thought it was very. There was a lot of big boppers in there.
Yeah, there are big. Well, that's the thing. Me and Ryan was saying it before, and once you go down below like Div 2 in men's, it's all kind of the same. It's all kind of the same. Maybe until you get to like Div 9 or 10, then they'd actually be like, they can't kick a ball.
Because a lot of it's just mixed teams, and then, and then you have teams which are flying up the ranks.
Yeah.
So there was a team of guys that were our age that started in Div 5 on
Yeah.
the beaches.
Yeah.
And pretty quickly they got themselves up to AL1s because they were just so much
So
better
good.
than everyone.
Yeah.
Which is sort of what it sounds like in your comp.
Yeah.
There's people which shouldn't be playing in there because they're too good.
We played this Sydney CBD team, dude, and there was this one guy in centre mid who was kind of like a similar player to Thiago Alcantara.
Who's
The guy from Liverpool, the centre mid. Was
I think
really
that's it. Was he a
techie.
citizen? Was he a citizen at all?
No, he's Liverpool. Citizen is in.
I die on the fence. I'm only a citizen.
Day one Man City fan.
You
But
count
yeah,
on it, mate.
dude, this guy we played just like literally couldn't get a hand on him.
Yeah.
He was just so fucking good. And it's like, why are you in our comp? But anyway, that brought something to my mind though, talking about that weekend where you chumped me in soccer. You chumped me in about everything we played that day.
Rent free.
Do you want to talk about your biblical bet from that night? Because this was unbelievable. Talk us through start to
technically-
finish from earlier in the day.
So technically, Campbell's girlfriend plays in the what's the netball? I don't know what it's called. Anyway, the Australian Netball League.
Yep.
And she plays for Collingwood, and unfortunately, that club is now dissolved to become they're just not existing.
That's
So
it,
this
yeah.
is this was their last season.
Sure.
So this was their last ever home game, and they were paying, I think it was $7.20 to 1 to
$7.20. Yeah.
to 1 to win 1 to 5, and Campbell's like, trust me, it's gonna happen.
What
It's-
was he? Did he just have a vibe or?
He said it's the club's last game. They're gonna get up.
Right. Okay.
So technically, he's not meant to be betting on this.
Yeah.
As he has inside knowledge.
Yeah.
I hope anyone knows.
Just beep that out.
Well, Campbell didn't bet on it. You
I
bet
betted on it
Yeah.
with his knowledge.
Yeah.
So anyway, that hits, and then
got Campbell out of jail there and then straight back into jail.
bang, boom, maybe beat that out. And then, anyways, the FA Cup finals on, and it was the Manchester Derby.
So how much did you guys put on that initial bet?
So we put 40 on it.
Oh, sorry, you. How much did you put on? Not Campbell.
I put 40 on it, so we won 240 bucks.
Wow.
And then we were like, all right, come on. We just got to ride it.
Yeah.
And it was the Manchester Derby and Gundarsdorp, who's, I don't even know if it's soccer. I think he's the Man City captain.
Gundawan. I don't know if he's the captain. Is he?
He is, yeah.
Yeah, he is.
So he
It's
was
funny. He only plays probably a third of the games each year, but it always is around the end of the season. And when he comes in, he's a captain, and he also scores goals for
Yeah.
days.
Yeah, he's a beast.
He's a weapon.
Yes.
Anyway.
So we put the whole $240 on.
You put the whole
I
thing.
put the whole $240 on this stupid bet. It was pretty dumb at the time, and especially because everyone there, all the soccer fanatics, you were saying to put on Marcus Rashford,
Of course.
and then the rest of the soccer fans. So I've got a friend, Matt Bavin, who may or may not. He is diehard like Tottenham fan.
Okay.
Like he came back from Europe, and he said he reckoned he was. If he was there for another week in England, his whole shin there would have been the Tottenham tattoo.
Oh, really?
And he said that, and we're like, no, mate, no.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, so he said, if you're going to put $250, put it on Haaland. Put it on Haaland.
Yeah.
And we're like, no, let's put it on this bloke. It's going to happen.
Why? Was there anything to make you put it on Gundawan?
Mate, he's the captain.
But did
You got to back the captain.
you just backed the captain?
You
Just
got to back the skipper.
and what was he paying?
I think it was $5
For anytime goal scorer?
anytime goal scorer. And then basically, there's about, I think there was 15 of us watching it.
Yeah.
Inside,
We got it up on a big screen.
and everyone was
came
watching it.
to watch.
And
Yeah.
he scored within 7 seconds.
Incredible.
And all I remember...
Fastest FA Cup final goal ever.
Yeah.
as
And
well.
all I remember was hearing, I was inside and Cam was outside. All I hear him was screaming excitement because I just won this big bet.
Yeah.
He had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
I was down playing pool and I just hear you come running outside going,
And I think,
he's gone.
I think it just capped off that weekend because I could not lose.
Yeah, you didn't
I
lose.
could not lose.
You beat me in all my own sports that day.
Every sport of yours, we played touch footy, soccer,
Pool.
I think I won 5 games in a row in pool.
Yeah, when you put that hood on, you were
was hoodie.
next level.
Hoodie Ed.
But it sort of leans into like Kody, you need redemption, and I think it's probably time that you guys actually start designing this decathlon.
Yeah. Do you want to explain what
You provide some context.
Okay, so basically, Ed and I are very, just have a very competitive relationship in general. Whether it be FIFA or soccer, pool, whatever.
Anything.
Basically, our skill sets lie in different areas. You can almost argue we have opposing strengths and opposing weaknesses.
I'd say to put in context, I'm a big guy. I'm a bit bigger.
You're a big bopper.
And I probably have the flexibility of, let's go someone.
A piece of wood.
Yep. Currently, I've been going through a lot of back problems, back spasms galore. Anytime I play sport, it's, you're done. You're done. And for Jacob Delantel, he could vouch for this. Sometimes I come home from a game of basketball and I walk in and my back is like that.
Yeah.
It is just cooked.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I guess that just touches on how inflexible I am. So I guess
So maybe event number 1 should be like a flexibility contest.
Yeah, I guess
I've been working on it.
That would
I'm
make
also
sense.
not that flexible, to be fair. I'm just a little rodent, but I'd go down like in a soft breeze, mate. So, anyway, Ed and I have had this idea to do a 10 series or
Decathlon.
10 series
Decathlon,
decathlon naturally.
Yeah.
Different
of
sports.
different sports, and to see who would come out trumps. And it would have to be. We don't know. We haven't figured out how to design this yet. Like, do we both get to put our own sport of choice in there?
It'd almost be worthwhile if, and I'm just spitballing, but if you guys nominated, let's say 10 events each,
Yeah.
And I got
random draw, and then if there are any events that were similar,
Yeah.
so you both submitted it,
Yeah.
that you guys would automatically do that,
Okay.
and then the remaining spots, like
I think it
Let's
would
say
almost
it's
have to be decided by a third party.
I think there has to be some rogue ones in there as well. So there has to be something like, I'd love if some archery got put in there. I can't.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Something like archery, or I don't know how easy it'd be if we played
archery
some polo
would be
on a
archery would
horse.
be incredible. I mean, there could be a panel of people that design
Design the
events,
decath, yeah.
because if it was a single person, then there could be some
Favoritism.
accidental bias.
Mm.
But if there was a panel of 3 or 4 people that had to choose the sports
Yeah.
and weigh up everything considered.
Yeah.
So, for example, sumo wrestling might be thrown out by one person, but
Yeah.
then someone else might say, let's not do that.
Well, that's like we wouldn't even need to do it.
Mate,
You know
I'm-
what I mean.
Because
I'm-
Kody would
I'm
flog
killing
him. Right, that would be 1-0 Kody.
Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
sumo wrestling.
Yeah.
This is completely out of context.
No.
Talking sumo wrestling, I'd love to do a boxing or a UFC fight, MMA fight. I don't know why. I think I'd get absolutely dicked.
Why aren't you and Jacob doing one?
Oh, we did agree to do one, didn't we? I just think it would be fucking like. Imagine just if we put in like 3 months of training, hardcore training, and then got all our mates, anyone, to come watch this fight.
You should do. I know that on the beaches they have this thing which is called. I can't remember what it's called. It's like something to fight, but it's a 12-week training camp.
Yeah.
Where you sign up, you do like all your progress photos at the start, you weigh yourself. You've never boxed before.
Yeah.
And then in 12 weeks' time, you do boxing training like all throughout the week, every week for 12 weeks.
Yeah.
And then you do an actual fight against someone else who is in the class with you.
Yeah.
And so I went to watch it once because my friend's dad was doing it.
Yeah.
And so it's funny because sure, in the 12 weeks they teach you some of the boxing technique and some of the ways that you should box so that you're actually fighting strategically. And so they do 3 rounds of 5 minutes. In the first round, you can tell that it's all strategy and people are nervous and feeling each other out. But then rounds 2 and 3, people are knackered because it's exhausting, and it just turns into haymakers. And people are throwing punches around with no control, and you watch people get KO'd. It's the best. It's like watching a street fight. For the viewer, it's incredible. For the person that's in the fight, it's probably terrifying. But you should.
It
You
is
should do
bucket
it.
list. It's just I think that has always been something on a bucket list. I want to get into an organized fight. I put it this way: I am the least aggressive person ever, and I think if someone came at me, I would just like cower. But I don't know, the whole thing of putting everything on the line to like just go in and do something.
Yeah.
I'd fucking love it. It would be awesome.
I think it'd be great. I'd love to watch you and Jacob do it. That would give some like rivalry to it.
Would
you
you
know?
ever do it? Something like? Would that ever interest you doing something like that?
No, I don't. I would never want to be punched in the face. I think that would be my the thing holding me
just
back.
one time, it would be awesome to get in an organized fight.
Yeah, the adrenaline would be incredible.
It would. You
It'd
would
almost
feel
be like seeing a ghost. But then, I just wouldn't want to get punched in the face, break my nose.
I reckon if you just do like the
if
real,
you had headgear.
Yeah,
I'm talking headgear.
real
still.
heavy.
I would
real
do
big
maybe a
gloves.
motorbike helmet.
Yeah.
That would work for me.
Yeah. Nice. I'd like to see you getting a scrap head for what it's worth.
Do you
Love
have
to see
any
you
bucket
scrap.
list stuff?
Bucket list items.
Yes. What's your
Oh,
bucket
bucket
list?
list. Good question.
Anything to check off. Mine is UFC, like a proper fight. 2, I don't know why, shooting at something out of a tank. Could you imagine how fucking big an alpha and just like, holy shit, if you're sitting there in a tank and just shoot down a fucking mountain or cause an avalanche or something, you're like,
Yeah.
boom!
Yeah.
You would feel unbelievable.
Yeah.
So
That'd be pretty sick.
that is all I've always said a bucket list. I don't know where I'm going to do it. It's
Yeah.
either going to be deep in Russia, or I think you may be able to get something done like that, or Texas. I don't
Texas would be doable for sure. I reckon you could go to a shooting range and they would have that there.
They'd have a
know. Like,
tank.
imagine just shooting a tank.
What about like a bazooka or something?
Yeah,
Is that a legitimate thing? Could you do that
Yeah.
somewhere? Surely, if you could shoot a tank.
I don't know.
That'd be
Shoot it.
crazy.
I put zero research into this, but I've always thought it would be awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have anything on my bucket list right now. Not off the top of my head.
Surely there's something you've always wanted to do.
I've always been really curious about, or not curious. I've always wanted to go skydiving, but there's a part of me which thinks that skydiving is massively overhyped. What do you call it? Overrated.
Overrated.
Yeah, because I have the idea in my mind that you jump out of the plane and the first 5 seconds is like, holy shit, I'm so high in the air and I'm going so fast. But then after that, you're kind of just looking at the ground.
I still reckon that'd be pretty sick.
So it would be awesome.
So-
it'd be such a cool vision of it.
Do you know
But
how out of breath you get? So
have you done it?
I haven't done it, but I did indoor skydiving.
Was
basically-
that on Mother's Day?
On Mother's Day, Mum was like, "All right, we're going indoor skydiving." So
epic.
she picked me up, and we went all the way out to it was in Penrith at the Leagues Club, and basically you jump on. It's this big fan thing,
Yeah.
and you sit on there, and you're just floating, and the whole time you're just like, because it's just these fucking
Is it-
miles of wind
Yeah.
going, and then they eventually take you to the top of the roof, and then you drop down. It was good fun, but it was scary.
That would be. I almost wonder if that would be as scary as skydiving. Because then it's like you're like you can see the
Well,
ground.
no, because
right?
you're not going to hit the ground. Like
Yeah.
you're not that high up. Whereas
Yeah.
the fan will pull you back up.
Would that be the worst way to go? Like die if you couldn't open your parachute?
Yeah.
Yes, that'd be
Oh,
terrifying.
drowning would
Have
be
you heard
pretty
it?
scary.
Drowning or maybe like eaten by a
Apparently,
shark or something.
drowning is peaceful because apparently your body. Eventually,
What about but what about like the 5 minutes before where you're stuck
but
in some
apparently the-
crazy rip? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
but
scary.
I think the moment you die would be the bit you want to.
Well, I think
Bit less
I
scary.
think it'd be like the moments before you die that'd be the most scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, rough.
I don't know how we got here.
Let's not get.
Do you know
down
what I
this
got
path.
told today? I went to get my eyes checked, get new glasses, and the optometrist was like, "You don't do any like extreme sports, do you?" And I was like, "Oh, not really." Why? What do you mean? He's like,
you have that look about you.
"Yeah, I guess so." He's like, "Mate, you've got damage like in the top and bottom of my eye, something to do with my retina." I didn't really understand what he was saying. Hadn't eaten, and I was just running on a coffee, so I was a bit all over the place. And he was like, "Yeah, you just got to be careful if you're doing any of that stuff because your retina could rip." And I was like, "That sounds kind of like etch."
Yeah.
I was like, "Should I like? Is anything going to cause that? Like, is that something I should be worried about?"
Skydiving.
And he was kind of like, "Oh, no, not really. Just come back in a few years and like we'll just check and make sure it's all right." But he was like, "If you see any like flashing lights in your vision, like come back straight away." And I was like, "That was weird."
Do you reckon that's a tactic? He's telling you to spend more money with him, to go back with him, and be like, maybe you would go back more often.
But it's bulk build.
Well, I
He's
can't
ripping
go
the
that much.
government off.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess
Ponzi
mate, just
scheme.
got to look after my retinas.
Yeah, I've never had eye problems.
Yeah.
It is, I think the worst eye problems. I just never had them
You
actually.
just had breathing problems.
Yeah, asthma
And
sucks.
back problems.
Asthma and back problems. But I've never had a major injury.
Yeah, neither have I. I tore my hamstring once. That's about as bad as it got.
Like, yeah, my worst thing is my back spasms, and I'm waiting. I hate to say this, but I'm due for a major injury.
Yeah, I'm due too.
I'm
Touch
due for like a proper one with. You're really fucked. There's been so like what's it? Angus has had very bad luck growing up with him. He had such terrible luck with injuries.
Yeah.
One time he dropped a 20-kilo weight on his toe at Nathan's house.
Oh.
Then I think as soon as that recovered, we were at the beach walking in the car park, and he stepped on a fish hook.
Oh, that's right. It went like through
And it
in
went
between
through
his toes.
his two toes, and he was sitting there, and so he had to get a local anaesthetic needle put through his toe to remove it. Then what else he has?
He had a horrific injury at when he was working at.
Oh, we
school
should probably
camp.
leave that.
Probably shouldn't
We'll
talk
leave
about
that
that
one,
on the
but
That's
pod.
up to his discretion if he wants to talk
that
about
that was
one.
a
That's one of
bad
the craziest injuries I've heard of.
Oh, it was gross.
Did you want to tell that fire story that happened in your house a couple of years ago? Because you told me this. You didn't even tell me this that long ago. I only found out about this maybe at the Nelson Bay trip. You told me.
Yeah, so basically during COVID, when was the first lockdown? Oh, maybe it was the second. It was the second set of lockdowns. So I was living so I was in Curly at my family's place,
Sturgis.
Sturgis Avenue. Shout out the clan again. We basically the night before, Mum's partner Trent, he loves to cook.
Yeah.
That's his thing. He's always been into cooking.
Yeah.
So the night before we did chops.
Yeah.
I did some weird. Anyway, I don't really happen. I think it was chops or something for dinner. Then would have been about 3:30, 4 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
The dog comes scratching on my bedroom door and it's just bugging. I go, and we're like, what the fuck's going on? And we open the door, and then so it's me and Katie in there, and then eventually I wake Mum up, I wake Jack up, I wake
Why did you wake them up?
Because then context, the fire alarm started going off.
True.
And we go downstairs, and the whole kitchen is completely filled with smoke.
Right.
Like,
if your house was a chop, it was getting flame grilled.
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
basically,
yeah,
what happened was, I'll tell you what we tried to do. So we tried to put it out. We originally thought it was in the oven. So me, Mum, and Trent trying to put the fire out. Then eventually, I'm
How
like,
big? I've never asked you. How big is the fire? Or how big was it when you walked downstairs for the first time?
it was. Imagine, remember that time? I think it was the last night at SPG. Remember how I accidentally couldn't turn off the smoke machine?
Yeah.
And the whole tent downstairs
Oh, and
was
it was
covered in
that
smoke.
foggy. This was like you couldn't see.
Yeah, you couldn't see
You
like
couldn't see 45 meters in ahead
towards
of
the end of it when we were like, all right, we have to just fucking leg it.
Yeah.
It was you could not see 5 centimeters. It's the proper like you'd have to drop and roll. But
So you went downstairs and the kitchen was filled with smoke. Could you see fire?
we couldn't see fire at that point. We just saw smoke. So we
Right.
thought something was just light in the thing. So we tried to put it out and everything.
In the oven or something?
Yeah, in the oven. And then eventually we were just like, all right, fuck it. Out.
Get outside, yeah.
And we called the firefighters and basically what happened in the, like, what's it, the induction fan or the
Like
exhaust?
the exhaust.
Unit
fan.
exhaust fan. So basically what happened was because we were cooking with really fatty food the night before,
Yeah.
it combusted and caught all, because think about it, how often do you clean up the top of the
Yeah,
thing, man?
yeah.
Never. You've never, I bet.
Once a week.
Like get on the roof.
So exactly. So you don't really do it. So
Chimney
all
boy.
the
It's kind of
fat
like
up
the
there-
modern day chimney, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. Well, that
In
is
a
your
weird
chimney.
way. Yeah.
Chimney of the future.
Yeah, yeah. So
And all of it, so eventually, because it was so hot and overnight, so it caught a light. So it was up there.
yeah.
And then eventually it just went all the way down that chimney thing.
Yeah.
And just ruined the house.
Yeah.
It was cooked. We were out the front, firefighters came, and it was about, I thought, it was so weird. There was like 3 firefighter trucks there. I reckon about...
And this is at what, like 3 a.m. or
Yeah,
something?
3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Everyone's awake. The whole neighbours is just standing there. We're like, oh, what the fuck?
Was there did the fire trucks put sirens on, or they didn't need to?
Well, we told them where they were, so there was sirens when they came
Right,
down, and
yeah.
then they eventually saw we were and turned them off.
And there's also Poe screaming as well.
Poe.
Yeah.
Oh, the worst thing about it was, well, after they put it all out,
His dog.
so
Right.
my sister
Whining.
moved to Canada. Would have been, she's back now, but moved there. But 2 weeks before she left, she brought this guinea pig back. We call it. Its name's Martin, and this thing it's an albino guinea pig. It's got bright red eyes,
Okay.
and it is so fat. It looks like a rabbit.
Yeah.
Like it's like, and we completely forgot about it. Completely forgot about it. So it just copped the whole runt of the smoke and the fire. And the firefighters came and said, "Oh, we found this rabbit in a cage."
Right.
It was we felt so bad. This thing just copped the brunt.
Oh no. Didn't
It's fine.
survive.
It's fine now.
He survived.
It survived. He survived now.
It has the most crippling anxiety of any pet I've ever encountered.
Is that from the fire, do you reckon, or is that?
Who knows? I think it's guinea pigs. They live by themselves.
But also, like, what was the damage to the house like at this
Oh,
point?
it's completely cooked. The whole downstairs was
Like black.
done. Like done black. We weren't allowed to live in. So this was during lockdown. So that lockdown made it quite interesting. We went to, I think, 7 different houses. We just went Airbnb to Airbnb.
Yeah.
It was very different. There was one I went to by myself in Manly. It was like behind.
Because that was covered by insurance or something, right?
Yeah, so insurance covered the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because, I guess that's what the point of insurance is, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
But yes, we had all these different houses, which made it so much fun because it was with lockdown, and then Mum ended up staying at one of Trent's mates' place because it was right near Curly. Because
Yeah.
we always had people going in to fix the house, so she wanted to be close there.
Yeah.
So I basically lived by myself for 2 months, and the only person that would come over would be Kody
Yeah.
or Angus. Angus was the only person you'd be able to convince him to come over
Right.
to these it was like just these apartments. It was so depressing.
Right.
It was just sad. But the house, to be honest, it ended up well. It's all good now.
You get
And-
renos?
No, so this
It's
got
got
annoyed
deep
Trent.
cleaned or
This is what annoyed Trent. So Trent wanted a full kitchen redo because he's, as I said, he's like really into his cooking.
yeah.
Where Mum was like, no, I want it the exact same.
Yeah.
So the house looked the exact same. We ended up getting, like, we got all these different stuff because Mum just lied about what was in the house.
Yeah.
Because they literally threw out everything for like, I reckon for a month straight, we just smelt, the house just smelt like plastic.
Yeah.
But to be honest,
Plastic, like because everything was new, or because it was burnt
no,
plastic?
like burnt, like after the
Really?
fire. Sorry, it just
Yeah,
smelled
yeah.
like absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
The only benefit I will say that came from this was at the same time it being in lockdown, the footy finals were on,
You beauty.
and our house backs out into an oval. No one being there, we would send an extension cord from the living room where the
Oh, that was out the back of your house.
yeah, out the back of our house, and we
Yeah.
used to set up a big TV
Yeah.
on the oval and watch the footy.
Do you know that time of, from my perspective, was like I would be hanging out with Xander in lockdown, and he'd be like, "Oh, okay, I'm just going to my mates now. They live on this street in Curly that backs out onto the oval, and we like watch the footy."
It
I
was
remember,
awesome.
but I remember being with him that day, and I like didn't know any of you guys at the time. But it's funny to look back on.
It
now
would have
being
started,
so-
I reckon,
yeah.
around the week before the finals that year. And then I shit you not, by the grand final, there was, I honestly reckon, 8 different groups out in the oval there, parked up.
Yeah, great.
Because for some reason that was legal. You could park
Yeah,
out.
because you're outdoor. I don't even think that us being in the city, we weren't allowed to drive over for a massive chunk of time. Like we couldn't cross.
No.
We couldn't leave our
No.
what do you call it, like local?
Was we there for the beach
LGA.
lockdown?
Nah. No, I was for the
Do you know what
for a chunk
only
of the
the
very
beaches
first one.
went lockdown?
Yeah, that was right over Christmas, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember
That
reading
was
the
so
funniest
grim.
article in, I think it was Batuta Advocate. They made a post saying, just basically commenting on the beaches like bubble. It's an inch per inch. No one leaves.
Yeah.
They were saying if they were just to lift the Spit Bridge, they reckon 95% of the northern beaches would have no idea it was open. Which I remember reading that, thinking that was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, but it's true.
Yeah.
That's why, like, I literally don't see my mates from the beaches anymore because I don't want to go back there and they don't want to come out here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is kind of far, to be fair, as well. And
It
it's
is,
not
it's
easy
true.
on public transport. So
I've certainly noticed since moving back to the beaches that it takes such a ridiculously long time to go to and from. I don't mind. The drive it zooms by pretty quick, but
Yeah.
then in the grand scheme of how long I'm spending in the car,
yeah,
it's a colossal amount of time.
You're
Well,
coming out of heaps.
you're
though.
here like every weekend at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's because everything's happening out here. So
Yeah.
yeah. But, interesting, with your house that caught on fire from the exhaust, I know someone who, they had a friend of theirs that was house sitting their place while they were all on holiday.
Oh, no.
And the exact same thing happened. But obviously there was no one home except for this person that was house sitting and then the family's dog. And so they had to run out of the house. But the
Same
place-
middle of the night, same thing.
Middle of the night, same thing. Yeah. Spark went off in the exhaust. Whole place was burnt, and it's still getting redone. But that was somewhat more recent.
Well, apparently that's the firefighters saying it's the most common way for like house fires to happen because you never think to go up there and clean that fire from the roof.
I had no idea that happened until you told me. I didn't know that was a possibility.
Yeah, it's pretty spooky.
What do you think about how much smoke goes up there?
No, it makes now that I hear it,
Yeah.
it makes. But like you're right, you would never think about it, and it makes me think like what other things could happen that I just would have no idea about.
Yeah, I don't fuck with fires anymore. That was scary.
Did you previously?
Yeah.
Well, I love a campfire like that, but
inside your kitchen.
no,
Not the place for a campfire.
You used to.
like think
Not
of
even-
it
I
like
used to
you know
fuck
when
it.
you've had like you sit around a campfire, you're either camping or even out like in a backyard. You sit
Yeah.
around a fire. Something about it is so warm. And
Yeah, it's great.
You feel so safe, and it
Go on.
it has that smell that's just like awesome.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You, even if you're walking in the street and you hear someone's having a campfire, you're just like,
It's next to
good
none.
on you.
Dude, I've been getting a massive craving to go camping. We should go camping soon.
I thought you were about to say to start a fire.
Start a house fire.
We should. Camping is fun.
We should go like before summer, like before it starts to get really warm and packed.
Yeah.
There's a really good campsite on the south coast that we used to go to.
We used to do it lots when we were younger. Yeah, but I guess
Anyway,
push comes to shove, you never bother to it, which
Yep.
is funny because during lockdown, when we were on the job seeker, I think I bought a fucking $2,000 car fridge. I bought a rooftop tent that was $1,000. I just spent the most absorbent amount of money on camping equipment, which has never been used.
well, you use it at festivals. You go hard in the paint at
exactly.
festivals.
Right. How often is that? Once a year?
Ah, well, mate,
Once a year with
There
the
you go.
definition of all the gear, no idea.
it was free money though, so who cares?
That means every year, though, it's your average price is coming
Actually,
down.
I
Yeah.
got a funny story about camping, all the gear, no idea. So it was the clan. So me, Nathan, Isaac, and Tully,
Yep.
and Angus.
Yep.
We went camping. Have you been to Seal Rocks?
Yes. Oh no, but I know what you're talking
I've
about.
never been to Sore Rocks.
Okay, so Seal Rocks, it's just before like Treachery, like Bluey's Beach and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a
Mid-North
beach
Coast,
called
yeah.
like the Lighthouse Beach. And we stayed there the night before, but then we were like, oh, we don't want to do that because we have to drive along the beach.
Hmm.
It's just a bit dodgy. And we had Finn there the night before who's knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's experienced with it and knew what he's doing. Whereas I had never driven on the beach before.
Yeah.
So we drove around everywhere, hadn't booked nowhere, and we could not find a thing to like
Set up,
or anywhere. So like, all right, we're gonna have to go do the fucking stay at the Lighthouse Beach, and which inquired us like driving down to the beach and boosting down to the other side and camp at like the other end. So the
What do you
waves
mean
wouldn't see.
boosting? Just like drive.
Just driving
Driving
down there.
over- yeah,
And Finn the night before told us a story of one of his mates that just had lost his car out to sea. So was driving along the beach and got bogged. next
Right.
to the like guess ocean,
Right,
shore,
yeah,
wherever
yeah.
they were.
Yeah.
And they couldn't because the sand was so wet they could not get it out.
Sure.
And so eventually the tide just took it out to sea.
Wow.
So that in mind, all right, it was a car filled back on the point. No, all the gear, no idea.
Yeah.
We drive onto the beach. We already know. We looked at the tide. It is completely high tide, and we get in the car, drive down the beach, and we get bogged within, I reckon, 10 meters in. And I like this. All right, so say here's the car.
Was
here.
it your fault or were you just? Was
Yeah,
it?
no, I'll get to it. It's
Sorry.
a funny story. All right, so here's the car.
Yeah.
I reckon the water is there.
Yeah.
It's coming up, and you can ask any of those boys that were there. This was one of the all-time panic attacks.
Yeah.
Instantly, I'm in the back, diving into the back view, crying what to do, trying to get the recovery tracks out, which you use to get your car bogged out.
You're crying.
Like I thought I was about to lose the car.
Yeah,
like
right.
in my head, I was like, "We're losing the car. Like,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
nothing we can do."
Because of the story. Yeah,
Story,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then which we could not get the car to stabilize.
Yeah.
And then it took Tully about 10 minutes of us trying to do it. Just take a step back and look at the car and be like, not all four wheels are spinning because you meant to have it in forward drive. Not all four wheels are spinning. Only two were spinning. And we were like, we were like, what? And when we looked at the thing where you turn, it was on two-wheel drive. And then we literally put it into forward drive. And I shit this happened.
Straight out.
Drive straight out. And in that point, Angus got onto the beach. He just U-turned his car and taken it straight up there because we were shit scared.
Yeah.
And it was like a kilometre walk. And we were originally, Nathan and Angus was like, no, don't worry about it. Just get the car there. Get the car there. We'll walk down the beach. They were willing to lug this whole, like, all this shit to get down there to camp. It was like a kilometre walk. And it was windy as fuck.
Yeah, right.
And, so eventually, we got down there and then we did pick them up because we realised it was just such an overreaction and we just did not think it through.
Yeah.
But, I guess that just sums up my camping and four-wheel drive experience. All the gear, no idea.
That's great stuff. The thought of you crying and having a panic attack
Oh,
is very amusing to me.
As a person, I rarely get proper rattled.
No.
Like if you rattle me, I'm impressed. I would say I just don't get rattled by much. But this, oh my god! Like honestly, the point of like nervous breakdown, like crying. But
Yeah, just panic.
But no, that was. I think it was more funny that the car. All we had to do was, and it went glided out like a
touch button.
Good from Charlie. Shout out to him.
Yeah, that was good by him.
It's like his
That
fourth
was-
shout out this ep.
Yeah.
All right, let's move forward because we're going to get log jammed on just tangenting this whole episode. Let's do a love and hate. You guys came prepped, I hear.
We did.
Yep.
Came prepped to do a love and hate.
Yeah, certainly. So
Do you want to start us off, Ryan?
Should I?
Do you want
Yeah.
to start us off with your love this week?
I'll start with a love.
Must be a freaking fly, mate, if you know this segment.
I am certainly a frequent flyer. That's why I felt so honoured to say the "What's up, nerds?"
I've never let anyone do that, though, now I think about
Wow.
it.
All right.
Yeah.
So for the last couple of weeks, I have been well and truly a day boy because I haven't had a job. I've been on the job search.
Bert.
Big Bert.
How good is being a day boy, though? Just
It is
quietly.
incredible.
Yeah.
It is, it's so bliss. Every day I'm like, what am I doing today? I can do whatever the fuck I want. Yeah.
Yeah.
And in light of that, what I have developed is potentially a very unhealthy obsession with baking.
Yeah.
And so my love this week, which it could very easily and very equally be a hate,
Yeah.
because of the obsession that I have with it now. But my love is baking.
Unreal.
It has taken over my life.
Yeah.
In my fridge, I have two different kinds of sourdough starters. I've made all of these loaves of bread. Yesterday night, we were watching the Tillies play and their just absolute destruction of Canada.
We'll come back to that.
We'll come back to that. But to that event, before arriving, I dropped off some cinnamon scrolls to a friend's place. And then when I arrived at the pub, I had sourdough cinnamon scrolls that I had baked up that afternoon.
They were awesome.
Very nice.
I was very impressed.
I missed this. I kind of missed the chat before, and I didn't ask you last night, but
Right.
so I didn't actually understand what that was. You
Right.
just love. You just made it.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so now that I have a job, so I'm in probably like a week's time, I'll no longer be a day boy, which I'm partly devastated about, partly very happy to have a job.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of scared that I won't be able to do any more baking.
Maybe it'll just be like your Sunday morning thing now. Just
Yeah,
a bit
true.
Of like, I don't know. I feel like you could bake on like a Monday night. You got
Yeah,
nothing to
true.
do.
It's
Yeah.
very funny. Recent
Especially-
cooking has definitely come interest.
Yeah, it certainly has. Yeah.
Well, like me now, I actually was saying this to Blav last week, or a couple of weeks ago when we did that podcast. Being a day boy is like, you'll wake up and it will be like 1 p.m. and you will have no idea what you've done in the morning.
Oh,
and then
yes.
I'll just be sitting there like making clay, like making stuff out of clay.
Yes.
I just end up doing random shit like that.
Yes. Yeah.
It's great.
Honestly, from waking up to midday goes probably 7 times faster than midday to 6 p.m.
Yeah,
It's
literally.
ridiculous. I don't know.
Literally.
And I'm waking up at 7 o'clock every morning.
Yeah.
And then boom, it's gone.
It's because
there.
you just filled with this, this sense of wonder and
Yeah.
hope every morning.
You just spend the whole morning planning.
yeah.
Just honestly making mind maps about what I'm going to do
Unreal.
that day. And then it's
Have
midday.
you had the Fleetwood Mac cheesecake?
Yes, I have.
Have you had any attempt at baking that? Because I think I'm going to have a go.
So Ed actually was the one that brought up last night at the game. Or I think it was
Yeah,
you.
D'Lo
said
a week ago made an
A
awesome
cheesecake.
cheesecake.
It was I think
It was.
Yeah.
He nailed it.
I'm going to make his one, yeah.
right.
And yes, I love cheesecake. I think you should give it a crack. It is awesome.
Yeah.
I definitely will. I mean, cinnamon scrolls was number 1 on the list. Making a sourdough loaf would be number 2, but I might have to go cheesecake after the sourdough loaf.
Mm.
But that's if I'm still cooking in a week's time. Who knows?
Yeah.
I might drop it.
We'll see how we go.
So
You know what you should do if you're going to get into cooking? It's more, not dessert. It's the slow cooker.
slow cooker. Yeah, true.
The slow cooker is epic.
Loose term for cooking, the slow cooker.
Yeah.
Yes, it is no skill involved, but you just produce this awesome. It's just epic.
Yeah.
Basically, it would have been 3-4 months ago. D'Lo just came home with a slow cooker, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
I used to get all my cooking recipes. I still do off TikTok or Instagram.
Yeah.
I look up anything, and
Yeah,
it just
same.
says everything that caught my eye was a slow cooker.
Yeah.
So basically, all you need to do is dump whatever you're putting in there, and maybe a couple bit of seasoning or
Yeah.
some sauce. Turn it on,
Low
bang.
and slow.
You come back 8 hours later, and you've got this beautiful thing
Yeah.
primed and ready.
Nice.
So I would recommend.
I did try your chicken tacos a couple of weeks ago. They were pretty good.
Yeah, they were fucking epic.
Yeah, they were awesome.
Everything we've done is nailed. It's just been fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Good times. Do you have a love, Ed, for us this week?
I do. My love is the term good boy.
Oh, yeah.
Good boy.
Recently, I've realised within our group of friends, the term good boy has...
It's absolutely taken off.
It's
caught
taken
on.
off, and it's become a key thing of someone's, our vocabulary.
Yeah.
It's
almost, so it would be in the same way that you have something like the slang like Bert or Rich or something like that, but they are on a large scale around the whole of Sydney, let's say.
Yeah.
Good boy has become an equivalent scale of word, but within our group.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's like, it's part of people's vocabulary.
Vernacular.
so
Yeah,
have you heard
vernacular.
how the term good boy started?
No, I actually haven't, but I should quickly say before you explain, I started because I was so used to saying it around us, I started saying it around my football team. And
Yeah.
so now my entire football team
Dude.
it's infectious.
Dude,
they
so
all
do
say
mine.
it.
So I've done the exact same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Because it just still, when you're at training, it still, someone makes a good tackle. You're
Good
like,
boy.
oh, good boy.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, the first time they hear it, they're like, oh, that's funny.
Yes.
And then everyone just starts saying it.
Yeah. The first session I was doing it, people were laughing because they were like,
It's so demeaning.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so demeaning.
But
it is just...
But it quickly changes from being a really demeaning thing to being almost
it's
a really
genuine.
genuine.
Yeah,
good
absolutely.
boy. Yeah.
Well, the first time I heard you say it was we were at your house and you were, it absolutely caught me so off guard. You were trying to get the TV turned on and you couldn't. And then the TV eventually, you managed to fire it up and you just went, good boy. And I was like, that is unreal. I lost it.
With the context, I reckon the way... So at the start, we were at Pitch in Melbourne. And basically driving down, the car was me, Kody, Xander, and Angus. And basically, just as the town outside where it was, I can't remember what the town was called, our tyre basically popped.
Yeah.
So we pumped it back up and we're like, all right, let's just get to the festival and try to figure it out.
Yeah.
And we get to the festival, the car, imagine the tyre, it's completely flat. You can tell it looks mushed into the ground.
Sure.
And I had no idea. At the time, I had no idea to change a tyre. Angus, didn't know.
It's lucky you had all that camping gear. It really
exactly.
goes to show.
We couldn't get
Do
it
you
back.
really not know how to change a tire? And I don't mean this in
I
like
generally didn't. Had no idea. I'd been trying we'd been trying. Oh no, sorry. The reason was we'd been trying. We didn't have the right part. We couldn't find the thing to take the wheel
Sure.
off. And basically, some guy, it would have been about 7:30 or so, it was just getting dark. We'd been struggling for a bit, and this guy comes over and says, mate, I'll do it for you tomorrow morning. And I just let off, good boy. And instantly, this guy from me, like, I'm here to help you, you're my savior, just says, fuck you, mate. You're an absolute piece of shit. Do not say good boy to me. It is so demeaning. He was so offended that I just said good boy.
Did he change the tyre?
No, he refused to do it. He didn't come back and do it. Which then led to Xander that night being, I was like, Xander, mate, you're going to have to get it done, mate. You're going to have to get a job done.
Yeah.
He then wakes up in the morning and just gets it done. Just figures it out. It was a heroic effort by him.
Yeah.
But then continuing on from that, the rest of that thing, which is anytime someone did something a little slightest bit funny, was going up to them and tickling them. Just going, good boy. And it was so demeaning, but I loved it. Yeah. I loved every bit about it.
Yeah. It's absolutely
such a good phrase.
Yeah.
And I do like it now that it's just catched on to the rest of our group.
I would say the only other thing that has reached a similar height is the tongue thing.
What?
Yeah. When you
What
say,
are the origins and for the listeners? Yeah,
do you know the tongue thing origin?
No.
I actually don't.
I think it's the emoji.
No,
that emoji?
no. I'm pretty sure, and I'm actually I'm sure, but I'm not 100% sure. I think me and Xander started it on the podcast.
Yeah, I think because I definitely got it from you and Xander.
Yeah.
And it would have started about a year ago.
Yeah, I think it got lost in there somewhere. Like, I can't remember because it wasn't until it had been going on for a while that we actually realized it was a thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, we'd kind of been doing it, and then I think probably not until someone like you were like, we're all doing that.
Yeah.
Now, in a way. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Well, I started doing it, and there would be people who would be like, What are you doing with your tongue? Put your tongue back in your mouth.
But how contagious is it? Yeah. It is absolutely contagious.
I haven't done it for a while, but it's really satisfying when you can rip one out.
My favorite one is like you'll say something that is really off-brand for you, really cheeky, where you'll be like, "Nah, I probably won't have any beers tonight at the pub." And then while the other person's looking away, and then the best is when they turn to look at you, you're just standing there going,
"Yeah,"
and they're just like, you got me again."
Yeah.
But I'd say good boys also reach those heights of like in just the general sort of infectious nature.
Yeah. I'd say Cusp hasn't hit that same height, but
What'd you say?
It's a word that I invented a few years ago.
No, mate.
I didn't do it.
No.
My brother did it, and I've been trying to get it to catch on. Jared made me a shirt that says "What the Cusp" on it, which I'm not even kidding.
How do you spell that?
QUW.
Oh, I've seen this.
OOSP.
Yeah, what is this? What is cusp?
It's like an interchangeable word for fuck or heck or something like that.
Yeah.
So you'd say what the cusp or but it's never caught on.
I
Tried to make it catch on.
Well, here's a platform. Here's your platform now.
So I was just about to say that I was yesterday because I stayed over in the city last night because I'm living in the beaches, and yesterday when I was packing a bag of stuff, I was going to wear the What the Cusp shirt on the show.
You should have.
And then
where's your scarf, by the way?
I forgot that.
Oh, the Danish flag. Yeah, the Danish scarf. But I didn't end up wearing it.
Shout out Danish House Mafia, by the way.
What's your love?
My love this week. This is a bit of not a boring one, but a bit of a mainstream one. I think everyone can get on board. Women's sport at the moment, with also in coinciding with the Women's World Cup, the NRL Women's has started. And mate, I'm behind the Tigers girls almost imminently.
Is it because they do better than the men?
Yeah, they're 2-0, mate. Really? Yeah.
Mate, let's go!
And they have this chick called Latu, who's like, I don't know, I think she's 17 or 18. And she's just this big Islander girl that plays halfback, and she's a weapon. And mate, I'm all on it, mate. Just to touch base with the Tillies again, I know overshadowed by Carmichael's Hattrick over the weekend. Yeah. Carmichael's birthday Hattrick. I wasn't expecting the Tillies to get up last night. And
me neither. I think every single one of us had written them off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they were so poor against Nigeria.
Well, they looked decent in the first half for maybe the first half an hour.
Yeah.
But then
I think that was also down to Nigeria just looking pretty average. But I just don't think they didn't look like that positive going forward. They weren't really like...
They looked lost. Well, they were also missing. So I think we all commented last night. Last night they played a 4-4-2 and they had Fowler up top with...
She is epic.
She's so good. Such a good player.
She is epic. She looks like she's just going to be nuts. She was
She's a
so
citizen.
quick.
She's a citizen. She plays for City.
Standard.
Yeah,
There's a few of them in the Aussie team.
loads. Yeah, but we
why I go
looked,
for
we
them.
looked like
Yeah.
what we were doing. We knew what we were doing going forwards.
Yeah, it was great. Caitlin Ford played unreal.
Unreal. And she looked lost the game before at
Yeah.
striker, and even the first game at striker.
Yeah.
By herself, she looked
Yeah.
lost.
And like, what do we have? 2 disallowed goals, I think. It was like
Yeah.
by the time the second goal actually got scored, I was almost hesitant to like celebrate. I was kind of just like, okay,
Yeah.
let's see if this is legit.
And
There was a
even,
lot of carrying on, I felt, watching it. You definitely saw the Canadians milk it a bit.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. It was nothing compared to the Nigerian game. I think
Dude,
when
they were spending a lot of time on the ground that game, didn't they, the Nigerians?
Yeah,
It was weird.
yeah. There was so many added minutes at the
Yeah.
end of the game. But
Shout
yeah,
out to- and you guys are going next Monday,
we are. So
which is now locked in round of 16 Australia game.
yeah. So for context, when we were buying ticket, because we were organised enough to buy tickets to the Women's World Cup, but not organised enough to actually get a ticket to the Matildas game.
Yeah.
And so we had to hedge our bets and pretty much guess when we might be able to see them in the quarterfinal if they made it through.
Yeah.
So we had a punt at a game that's been played in Sydney on Monday, which was first place in Group B versus second place in Group D.
We Group B.
We're Group B. And so our chances before last night's game of finishing first were so slim. And then in Group D, we just, it's whoever comes second in that group. But all of a sudden last night, after last night's colossal win, and Nigeria drawing with Ireland, who hadn't picked up any points so far, who hadn't even looked like scoring,
Yeah.
was
it
means that
0-0
we
in that
finished
game?
top.
Sorry.
Yeah, finished 0-0. And so we finished top. We'll get to see them on Monday. There's 6 of us going. And we'll play against England or Denmark, it looks like, depending on what happens with results tonight.
Awesome. That is
Yeah.
going to be unreal. Is that at Allianz as well?
No, it's a core.
Oh, okay. That's not as
So,
cool, but still
That's
be
not
sick.
as cool.
Is it
But
sold out though? It'd be like 80,000 people there.
I'm sure now that Australia are there, it'll be sold out.
Yeah. I should try. I'd love to go to that.
What's Australia's chance of making the final? The grand final?
So I was looking at it today, not to get ahead of ourselves, but if we win this round of 16, our quarterfinal match could potentially be against a very, very beatable opposition.
Okay.
So it could be against the likes of a country which has never done well on the international stage.
Yeah.
So if we win this game, which is doable, if it's Denmark, if it's England, I think it would be very tough.
Yeah.
But we could get through, and then it's either like Germany or Jamaica, and those teams just aren't as good as.
I love it how invested you are on this.
Yeah, well, I'm so keen.
Mate,
We're going to do so well.
Nothing because what I loved about the men's World Cup was the fact that even though this isn't the same time zone as us, but I loved it when I woke up at about 7 o'clock. I'd go downstairs and turn on, and SBS had at least the second half of that 7 like that. There was always the game in the morning.
Yeah.
Which I think Optus Sport is sort of screwed up here with this World Cup is the fact that I think the only free to air games are the Matilda games.
Yeah, but it's because they're on 7. But Optus Sport.
That's what I mean,
has the
7. But
rights,
I think Optus Sport, I guess the broadcasting rights have sort of screwed up with it because it would have been massive. Like you saw, if they were all, I guess more games free to air, you'd watch more. Like I don't have Optus Sport. If let's say I don't know who played. I know Germany played Colombia last night. I think. And if that was on Optus Sport, if that was on like 7 or a free to air TV thing, I think you get a lot more people tuning into it and I guess engaging with them more because. Which is, I guess, the only sad thing I've noticed about
it's
this
funny,
thing.
sir, because like I have Optus Sport, because I'm a big fan of the EPL, and so I've just had the TV on all day. I've just been watching all the Women's World Cup games because they're just on. I just flick them on.
Yeah.
But yeah, think about how
But
many
if you
people would be
if
watching.
you couldn't watch them, because you don't have Optus Sport, then
Yeah.
you wouldn't even know it was on.
Well, I think. I totally lost my train. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Ryan Phillips made a good point last night. Like when it was the same when the World Cup was on, the Australia men's football team and the Australia women's football team managed to get such a more like cult following behind them when they play, as opposed to Australia's other national teams.
Yeah.
Like the cricket team, for example.
Yeah.
Like the cricket team, no doubt, gets all the cricket fans behind it.
Yeah.
But I feel like the world game, football,
Yeah,
it's
but
just so much
Can I
more.
explain why I think that is? Because
Well-
it only happens in the World Cup. No one gives a shit about Australia's like trial games, or if they do anything. I don't think.
Yeah, but
think it's only in the World Cup.
Yeah,
Whereas,
for sure. But like, it's also like I think it's just so much more inclusive, and like,
Yeah.
it's also so much easier to get the girls behind it. Like, the
You know
girls
that-
aren't going to get behind. Like, for the most part, the casual female fan is going to get around and watch the Ashes.
Yeah.
But the casual female
but
fan,
it's
you'll
back
get
to the
down
point
to. The,
where I think cricket and stuff is not a global game. It is on that it is, but it's like
yeah,
soccer is
I
played
agree.
I guess
everywhere.
that's, yeah.
I understand why.
Saying it.
I understand why that might be, but Australia, you could argue that the Socceroos aren't as big a team as the men's national cricket team, which they're probably not. They're absolutely not. Even the rugby league Australia team probably would be considered a bigger team than the football team.
No, that's where you're wrong.
You
The
don't think?
Socceroos are way bigger than the Australian rugby league team.
Yeah, I think just more like. To
I think
the,
you're
like,
thinking there's only 2 states in Australia that watch.
I know, but I just think it's more to the casual fan, is what I'm trying to say. Like, I think it's
I
just,
would agree with what Cody's saying in that soccer, it definitely has capacity to pull in more casual fans
yeah,
because it's very easy game to understand. It's over in an hour and a half, 2 hours. And it only comes around it only comes around every so often.
yeah,
I would
So-
say that's the one thing soccer's not got going for it. It's 90 minutes.
It's too long.
It's too long. I've always watched like league is the main one I watch. I'm so used to an 80-minute half. It is. It's almost draining how long soccer sometimes.
Well,
goes for.
football, it's not even 90 minutes because you'll have 5 minutes of added time.
yeah. it's
Exactly,
true,
but
like,
even
yeah.
put it in this context, like even like from a local standpoint, if I go watch Kody play, that's what's it like an hour?
It's like 2
hour and a
hours.
half.
2 hours.
Yeah.
My full game of like the basketball playing is not even as long as one half of her soccer.
Yeah. Yeah, soccer is long, no doubt. Even last night, I was saying, like, when it's 3-0 and it's the 75th minute, you're like,
Nah,
one team's not trying to score and the other team's absolutely already been crushed.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like just drags a little bit at times. So I can definitely agree to that, or definitely hear that as much as I like a 90-minute game.
Well, I
can
heard there's always things that are thrown out by FIFA, particularly Arsene Wenger, who's a very prolific person in football history, who now works for FIFA, and he has been saying that football should be 60-minute games.
Yes, perfect.
That'd be crazy.
Could you imagine 60-minute games? It'd be just attacking the entire time.
Yeah.
You guys are like obviously big soccer fans, and like you've played it your whole life. I would be so like of recent to go to the nature of what I'm doing at work. I've gotten so engaged with what's going with the EPL. The whole off season here and how everyone moving around is fascinating. It's a drama every day.
Yeah.
Whereas, but then it gets back to the point where it's like I'm not going to watch an hour and a half, 2 hour game. If it was 60 minutes, I think it would be epic.
The best thing I think to happen to football in recent years has been the mini match.
Yeah.
Watching a 24-minute highlight of a 90-minute game.
100%. 100%.
Like
Okay, a mini.
I happily blitz through them.
Yeah.
But I would never ever sit down and watch a full 90-minute game
No.
after it had been played, unless it was Man United,
Yeah.
my favourite team.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Speaking of things getting too long, we've been doing this for ages. Let's keep this moving forward. We're at an hour and a half.
Bert.
Damn.
Do you want to, mate? Well, that's the thing. We're not even slowing down, so I've got to redirect us at some point.
Yeah.
Your hate, Ryan.
My hate is one that actually I was struggling to think of something today, and then it sprung to me today, which is, and this is not to get into toilet chat here, but it's going to go into toilet chat. I hate the administrative burden of going to the toilet. I would love it if you just never had to go to the toilet.
I disagree.
I agree.
Because you disagree. How?
Sometimes doing crap is relaxing.
But
It's a time. Imagine
gen-
at work. Imagine at work when it's literally your one excuse to go disappear for 20 minutes.
well, at the same time, I think it's stress-inducing, particularly if you're at a new job and you have to go to the toilet.
Yep.
Then you're worried about stepping into the bathroom.
Yeah.
If going to the toilet didn't exist, I feel like we would already be on Mars.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Think about it.
all the
there was
time
no need-
wasted.
Think about
Exactly.
Think
There'd
about
be-
any, like things you eat.
There would
And
surely be
it
stats
causes
out there.
toilet problems.
Yeah.
Exactly. And all of the disease around the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Caused by
I'm-
toilet.
I'm-
No, fair enough. I agree.
And also, I hate like when you're all comfortable in bed and it's like you've already, the nights like I get it after soccer training. I've
Yeah.
pumped heaps of water.
Exactly.
Get up, come home, go to the bathroom, go upstairs, get ready for bed, come down, go to the bathroom again, get into bed. Then like 20 minutes, half an hour later, I need to go again.
Yeah.
Oh,
How often do you sleep through a night without needing to go to the bathroom to piss?
It comes in waves, but then when it's in a wave of needing to go to the toilet, it's like every night I gotta go.
I reckon
well,
for the
as,
last, I
as they
honestly,
say, when it
2.5
rains, it pours.
months.
But that, so it's a tally between Tully shoutouts and it rains when it rains and pours on this episode.
Yeah. Sorry, what were you saying?
I reckon I am in the moment. The last 2 months, every night, middle of the night, I have to go piss.
That's terrible. You need to drink less water,
Yeah.
or you need to start researching how not to go to the toilet.
I don't reckon.
My problem is that like I drink lots of water, but I've got to stop drinking it after like 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
But if I'm sitting on the couch, I almost drink water out of boredom.
Yeah, I do as well. If I've got my water bottle just sitting there, I'll drink it without.
You drink it out of like
Yeah.
boredom.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Which is a great habit. It's a great habit. You almost can't drink enough water.
I know.
Yeah,
I do love the resurgence of fancy drink bottles.
true. Yeah.
Shout out the Amazon $30.
Oh, this is a plug.
He said
Bursard. Hashtag ad. But yeah,
Sponsor me.
so that my hate would just be that the administrative burden that comes with going to the toilet,
Yeah.
time wasted, and then all the other negatives that come with it.
I'm not going to open a can of worms right now, but we've been on the topic of burnout the last few weeks.
Yeah.
I reckon the administrative burden of just keeping yourself alive is like, dude, it throws me around.
Yeah,
Having to go to Woolies and shit, dude, I'm like, oh my God.
Particularly when you do move out of home, like we've all been out of home for a couple of years now. But
Yeah.
when you move out, it's a shock to the system because you have to go to the shops. If you're really organised, you maybe go once or twice a week.
Yeah.
But if not, you're going
All the
pretty
time.
often.
Yeah.
And then it's always like, oh, fuck, all right, what am I cooking for dinner tonight?
Yeah.
And then when you think about what am I cooking for dinner, it's like you've forgotten every delicious food you've ever had.
Exactly.
And then you're lost.
Well,
You're
that's
like,
why
where
me
am I
and
going?
Kane are on Dinnerly now. So we
Right.
just get 4 delicious meals delivered to us every week.
That's genius.
Yeah, it's $37 for 4 meals. It's like
That's
$6
good
a
value.
meal. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty much what you'd be paying at the shops anyway.
Yeah.
Unless you're Ed and you go to Mossman Woolies. Your hate this Your hate this week, mate?
Me, one thing I know Xander will probably agree on this. One thing I hate is small talk.
Oh, yeah.
Unnecessary small talk. Nothing brings me more hate and fury is having a conversation with someone where you both don't want to be in that conversation. Prime example, we're at the shops. You're walking the shops and you see someone you know.
This is
Yeah.
a Cremorne Woolies.
No, not come on, Willie. Well, let's go. Let's go Kmart at Warringah Mall.
Yeah.
Warringah Mall Kmart. Bang, and you walk into XY of this person,
This person from your geography class in high school.
and you're just like, fuck. I don't want to talk to you. You don't want to talk to me. But now we're stuck here for the next 5 minutes. How you been, mate? Good. We've been working. How you been doing? Oh, not much. And then you're both. I can tell this person is looking for a reason to leave this conversation.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a reason to leave this conversation. But we're both two walking about. All right, see you, man.
Yeah.
And then eventually someone does bite the bus and be like, all right, well, I better go. It's good to see you. And then you just, the whole time, you're sitting hand in your head being like, oh my God. And you, always it comes to it, you're like, do I go say hi? Do I go say hi? No. Ooh.
I have gained a respect for people after leaving school based on people who are happy to just a wave, a nod or a wave.
Yes, it's awesome.
Or, hey, how you going? Good. Yeah, good. See ya. That's it.
Yeah.
Rather than people who want to engage in small talk. Not that I've got less respect for them,
Yeah.
but I've certainly gained respect for people who are more inclined just to do a how you going handshake.
Like, there's a lot of
goodbye.
guys from
Yeah.
school. I would, like, obviously, mate, if we have a chat, we have a chat. But I just don't like it if it doesn't progress past small talk. If a conversation doesn't progress past small talk, don't talk to me.
I saw a Reddit post one time that was like, it was on this topic, and this chick was basically like, I had the most pleasant experience the other day. I walked past someone from my high school, it's what seemed like 10 years earlier, and the person just put their hand up for a high five, no words, they just high fived and kept walking.
That's exactly.
Maybe you should try that out. Just walk down the aisle, hand up, no words.
If anyone here is listening that would encounter a small talk conversation with me,
Yeah.
give me a high five and get on with it.
Yeah.
We're not here to fuck around.
I like that.
Get on with it.
My hate this week, a little bit more niche, Ryan. I feel like you might like this if you have any idea what I'm talking about. I hope someone knows what I'm talking about here. But there seems to be. So do you know those Instagram pages that are like a couple that I follow are like amazing Amazing Ocean World, because I like videos of like crazy sharks and shit. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
Or like
yeah.
nature is mental, or like just 90s things, like pages like that I follow for whatever reason.
Yeah,
It
the
seems like
Instagram equivalent of people are awesome. Or something like, yeah, the videos. Yeah,
pretty much. But there's this one guy who seems to have paid off all these Instagram accounts to promote his shitty music, and his name is Big Stepper Drew, but like Stepper STPPA
Yeah.
Drew, and his music fucking sucks. It just blows, and it'll be like a video of like Jennifer Aniston on like the red carpet from like the early 2000s, and this just like I don't even know what you would call it. It's like soft boy electronic rap almost, and it's just absolutely horrific. And every time I see his name, because it's in capitals as well,
Right.
Big Stepper Drew, capitals, and it's just out of place, and fuck, it just pisses me off every time I see it. So anyway, yeah, I hope someone else knows what
What's
I'm
your
talking
thoughts
about.
on rappers? Like, do you know rap? Like, you see all these rappers that get big. I guess besides like your typical mumble rappers like Migos and stuff, but like, what's the word I'm trying to just think of? But like,
Give me
you
an
know, so those like
example.
alti rappers.
Like who?
Do you think they were bullied in school?
Like who?
We saw this guy.
You Bakar or what's
We
his
saw
name?
this guy called Kojak the other night.
Oh, yeah.
he,
Oh,
he
you
was
went to-
awesome. He was awesome.
Yeah.
But I've always thought like, think about any rapper that's ever come from like the Northern Beaches.
Yeah.
Surely they were bullied in school.
But that's just our culture. That was just the culture from the beaches, though.
Yeah, I
Do you-
think
do you
the
mean,
Beaches
like,
has
I've
like a
always
tall
thought, like,
poppy
the-
syndrome about it.
Like someone like Mac Miller. All right, so he was rest in peace, but he was awesome.
Yeah.
Do you think he was bullied in high school?
I don't reckon. I think from what my brother said about living in America, there is the culture over there is totally different. Like he would be a legend at school because he's doing what he wants to do and he's himself.
Yeah.
But
It's so
in
different.
Australia, it's different.
It's
where
so
people just
different. Like
rip on
people are
everything.
like if someone went to say if Mac Miller went to school over here,
Yeah.
I definitely feel he would have been the butt of so many groups jokes.
Well, Flume was bullied at St. Augustine's where I went to school,
Yeah.
and then he left and he went to maybe Mossman or Newtown or something. But he was bullied out of St. Augustine's for I don't know if it had anything to do with his music, but perhaps just his personality.
Yeah, he's outgoing nature.
Yeah, and which is like in the same sort of personality he had to have to be a musician or whatever.
Do you
Yeah.
know, I think it's funny the 180 turn or 360 turn people take on it, whereas as soon as they're successful, like fuck yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely tall poppy syndrome in Australia, I think.
Yeah.
Imagine like if we had started this podcast in high school.
oh god, you would have been rinsed.
We would have been
You would have
rinsed.
been absolutely
Yeah.
rinsed.
But like now we're like 24, everyone's like on board with it. It's great.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, totally. It depends on the person and where they're from.
Yeah.
Are you going to Bakar?
No, I didn't get a ticket, but I kind of wish I did.
Is it sold out?
I haven't looked. Yeah, he's
He's got that Helen back song.
Yeah, English guy.
Went to
Funky music.
Helen back when you found peace.
Oh,
Me and you went.
Keep going. Keep going.
I don't know any of the words. That's
Huh?
it. Yeah. Okay. Are we done here? Pretty much.
I think we're done. Yeah.
Do you want to shout out Carmichael one more time before we clock it off?
Shout out Clocky.
Thanks for coming on, boys. DHM till I die.
We're 101 on those. This was
101
by
today.
far
We didn't
the
even-
best Barflies podcast ever, so we're going to add that one
Yeah,
to our
technically,
record.
yeah,
So
everyone.
I think it's time we announce NHM, you're not our competition anymore. You're not in the same leagues. We're coming for you. Who's next? Who's our next competition?
I think
Maybe
if
it's the
anything,
Barflies. Maybe we'll set up a live podcast straight down the barrel of the stage at SPG next year and just sit opposite you and just do a live pod while you guys are playing.
Yeah.
But we'll turn our speaker just a little bit louder than your...
All right,
Yeah,
the
we-
show there.
we-
That's no, mate. No, mate. We're just going to end it there. No, mate. No, mate. That's not going to happen.
103, no?
103. If that happens, I think that counts as double win, so we'll be 206 and 0.
we didn't even discuss
our merch.
our merch and
Bring it
our and all right. So we were talking about before the show that DHM is quite well known around the industry and around the world for their merchandise.
Yeah, we've got
So-
a couple thousand followers, minus 1,000. But go on.
On Instagram, yeah, but we'll make
200.
one of one pieces, and so we're almost wondering if we create a singular piece of merchandise that will be up for auction via the Barflies. Via the Barflies.
Visit www.barflies.com.au to buy the official DHM X Barflies.
Yeah,
If you guys make it...
What are we selling?
maybe a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've done that before.
And what was the point of this? What's the profit going towards?
So the profit is going towards, let's say, pyrotechnics for our next gig.
Okay.
We'll start the bidding at maybe 10 cents.
10 cents?
And the winner not only gets a T-shirt, but they also get a day out with the Barflies.
Sorry, not with DHM.
Sorry, with DHM. Okay, well,
You know what? Instead of a day out with me and you, I think they go spear fishing with Finn. Finn will pick you up. He lives down south. He'll pick you up and he'll take you fishing one day. Take it or leave it. Bidding starts at 10 cents. Get your official DHM X Barflies merch at www.barflies.com.au.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool.
Mic drop.
Did we just get Trojan horsed by the DHM just then?
Yeah. Not for the first time. But
Yeah, not for the first time this app. If you guys make a 9x16 Instagram portrait video, promote with holding the merch, being like, this is up for auction, I'll post it.
No,
Alright,
we've
that's
got the website. Do you have a website?
No.
no, that brief works. We can make it.
Like,
work.
mate, you got to work with me. You know, I'll give you the platform. You just got to give me the resources.
I mean, I'm a day boy for a couple more days, so
Well, the pod will probably go out on Thursday. So if you want to even do it before then, we can use it as
Do we get a
promo
website?
There you go.
for the pod.
Will the Barflies get a website?
Not
Do you need a
before
website?
Thursday.
Do we get a website for them to buy this piece of merch? Or is it just going to be auctioned on Instagram?
No, just do it on
Probably not
Instagram.
before Thursday.
Do we do... All right, auction,
auction
for the
websites.
Barflies X DHM merch in
It will
the
just have to
Barflies
be
comments.
It'll have to be comments.
Comments.
Bidding start at 10 cents.
Highest bidder
and
by 5
highest bidder by gets the piece of merch and Finn will take them fishing. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Teddy Deeks, Ryan McLean, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for coming on, guys.
You beauty.
Thanks, Cody. Thanks for the invite.
No worries. Goodbye.
Good boy.